September 26, 2015. I went kayak fishing on the east end of Dolphin Island. I stopped for bait and picked up a half-pound of dead shrimp. I caught a small croaker off the jetties and now he was bait. It wasn't long before I was hooked up and being towed due south. The beast tired and I reeled in my line. Out emerged a 3-foot bull redfish from the murky waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Dinner time. We all have to eat to survive, so knowing your options when it comes to Gulf fish as an edible resource is valuable to us all. I've been fishing since I was 5 with my dad in lakes, rivers, bays, oceans, and the Gulf of Mexico. We've learned from professionals, so we not only go fishing, we catch fish. Then we clean, cook, and eat these fish. Purpose of my speech is to inform the audience of the different edible fish you might catch while fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. The 3 fish I'm going to tell you about today are redfish, speckled trout, and gray triggerfish. Redfish are edible and plentiful fish that are less than a kayak's paddle away from our shores. In the article Catching Redfish Off the South Texas Coast from the New York Times, Jonathan Gluck says, redfish make excellent eating, remembering the black and redfish craze of the 80s. But ecologically minded fly fishers generally adhere to a catch and release ethic. I've caught redfish off of mullet heads, live shrimp, and live croaker. When preparing redfish, normally filleted and fried, you can also grill, steam, bake, or even eat raw this Gulf fish. Much like redfish, speckled trout are common across the Gulf Coast in the waters as well as on the plates of restaurants around the Gulf Coast. And according to David Rayner, in an article, Mobile Bay Trout Fishing Makes Big Turnaround from the Trussville Tribune, speckled trout fishing has really improved in the Mobile Bay area in the last year. I've caught speckled trout on artificial, live, and dead bait. Normally filleted and fried, you can also blacken, grill, and saute these fish. The last fish I'm going to tell you about today is the gray triggerfish. While not as common as the other fishes, it's still widely served up across the Gulf Coast. In the article Gray Triggerfish Characteristics from www.landbigfish.com, Captain Charlie Walker says triggerfish are abundant in the Gulf of Mexico, and thank goodness. Not everyone is aware of how good they are or what fun they are to catch. We normally caught gray triggerfish on dead squid, and we would use pliers to peel back its tough skin and scales. No exception came to when it comes to the triggerfish. We would normally fillet, fry to a golden brown, and eat these Gulf fish. In conclusion, I've told you about 3 fish that I've caught and ate from the Gulf of Mexico. I've conveyed to you the different baits that I've used, how others have caught these fish, and how individuals and restaurants alike both eat these fish. I feel qualified to speak on this topic because of the countless fish that I've caught and ate from the Gulf of Mexico. Hopefully, next time you go fishing or out to eat at a Gulf Coast seafood restaurant, you'll remember the fish that I talked about today. I've caught many fish over the years, but never really thought about the preservation of the species. I've learned that if everyone follows the rules set in place to protect our fisheries, that we will be able to catch and eat these fish for centuries to come.